Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another video. Tom Holland's upset. I'm upset too. I'm very upset. Let's talk about it. All right, I'm going to try to make this video quick because I don't really want to talk about it too much because I don't have too many opinions, and also this story just came out today, so we don't know too much information. But I want to talk about it because it is something big that just happened. Tom Holland's upset for a good reason because uh, Disney and Sony have decided to end their relationship, their deal, end their relationship like they were together, end their deal regarding Spider-Man. So that means we will not see Tom Holland as Spider-Man anymore in the MCU, which is a damn shame, especially considering how the last movie ended, where it's just like, oh my god, the possibility. Oh, we're not gonna see it anymore. Okay. All right, so we get to see Tom Holland with Venom now. Knock knock with Devil in. Oh, cool. The Devil being Sony this time. All right, I'm just gonna tell you right here. When I heard this story earlier today, I'm sorry. I had to. I immediately blamed Sony. I had to. Why? Because Sony Pictures, I like Sony when it comes to their game division, but when it comes to their Sony Pictures division, when it comes to movies, I don't watch their TV shit. But their movies, I hate them. I really do. They might release some good stuff here and there. Of course, they release Spider-Man movies, even though Marvel helps them with those. They also did the Into the Spider-Verse, which was Sony Pictures animation, to be fair, but it was still Sony Pictures. I'll give them that. It was good. That was amazing. That was an amazing movie. But that's a good thing to put on your resume. But when it comes to the last few years, when it comes to all the Adam Sandler shit and Ghostbusters and Annie and all these fucking garbage movies they released, in the last couple years they've been doing better. But I still don't like them as a company. I really don't. They seem shady when it comes to their marketing and their product placement. I just don't like them. They've been getting a little bit better. A little bit. Okay, they worked out a deal with Disney. That was cool back in, 2015? That was cool. That was already a step in the right direction. And then they released shit like Venom, and it's just like, ugh. Like, what? But, which I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed Venom, but it was not a good movie. It was a B movie, if anything. It was fun, but it was not a great movie. Didn't have that much product placement, too. I'll give them that. But now, but they wanted to start their own little universe with Venom. So I was just like, immediately when I heard they wanted that the deal was ending, I immediately in my brain thought they're ending it so they could put Spider-Man in their Venom universe because Venom did really well. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, that's what they're doing. But then I read about what actually happened, and I have an article from the Nerdist, which I read a couple articles about this, but this one I like the best because I don't know, I just like this picture. I think that's really the main reason why. But he looks so sad. He's like, what the fuck? But as I read articles, I quickly realized that, okay, it wasn't just Sony. Sorry that I immediately thought it was Sony, but you can't blame me considering the kind of studio they are. All right, sorry for the cut there, but I had a phone call. Anyway, back to it. I was screaming and yelling about Venom, so we're just gonna stop talking about that right now. Venom was not a great movie. Yada yada. They want to put Venom in it. We get it. Okay. Anyway, let's talk about this article now. Let's talk about the whole reason why the split happened. Okay. Immediately, I figured it was Sony's fault, but technically it wasn't. They had an article here where they talked about how the deal worked out, because the deal worked out. Spider-Man would make all the money and Disney wouldn't make shit. No, Sony would make the money from the Spider-Man standalone movies. Okay, they would make all the money from the box office, supposedly. But when it comes to the merchandise, Disney would make money from that, and also the Avengers movies. I'm assuming they would make money from that. I'm not exactly sure how it worked, but the new deal that Disney wanted to make, Disney came up with a new deal because the Spider-Man movies were doing really well, and they feel like, I'm assuming they felt like, because of the Avengers and stuff like that, and Civil War, Spider-Man became a little bit more popular of a character, and that's why the new one crossed $1 billion. So they assumed that, hey, they made a lot of money. So I feel like those standalone movies, we should make a little bit off of that, because we're still working on it. We're still letting you use characters we own. So I felt like that made sense, but the deal they came up with was 50-50. which might have been too much considering Spider-Man is still Sony's character, and that's the main reason people are showing up is Spider-Man. So maybe a little bit too much, but it seemed like Disney was open up. All right, let's go down into this quote. Let's just read this quote now. Okay, this is a quote from Deadline. I don't know how they got this information, but I'm assuming they got it from somewhere. It's Deadline. So Sony turned that offer down flat. They just turned it down completely. And I don't believe they even came back to the table to figure out a compromise. So they said 50-50 and Sony said, nah, and ended the call. So like, that's it. Literally, that's it. They didn't come back with like 60-40 or 55-45 or 70-30, anything. They didn't come back with anything. They said, fuck you. And they ended the call. Led by Tom Rothman, of course. And Tony Viz. Sony just simply didn't want to share its biggest franchise. Sony current terms, where Marvel receives in the range of 5% of first dollar gross. Okay, so they actually receive 5%. I didn't know that. I said $5. 5%. Okay, I didn't know that for some reason. Disney refused that because, of course, Disney is just like, all right. It looks like Disney could be money hungry here, which is true, but they work hard on some of those Marvel movies in the past with Spider-Man in it. And I feel like them coming up with a different arrangement makes sense. 50-50 might be too much, but like 30%. If they said 30%, I think that would have been fair. I think that's fair. Okay? But I think that what they're saying with 50-50, I think they're saying 50-50 all around the board. Is that also merchandise? I'm not too sure. I could be wrong with the deal. So someone please correct me about that deal. Maybe Disney doesn't get all the merchandise money. They probably get like maybe half of the merchandise money. I'm not really too sure. So please correct me in the comments. I'm sure someone already did. Marvel receives 5% of first dollar gross. Sources said. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Either way, it's ridiculous for Sony to say like you only get 5% and some merchandise money and that's it. Even though you made our character more popular and put him in great films, and you also put him in your universe and you let us use your characters in our movie. You know what I mean? Like, I get the deal, you know, like Disney had to make some sort of a deal, but still, like when it comes to being fair, I don't think that's fair at all. I don't think it's fair at all that Disney put that character in their giant universe, made that character more popular, put Nick Fury and all these other characters that they own in the Spider-Man movie, Iron Man, all these characters in those two Spider-Man movies, and yeah, they don't get any kind of percentage increase, just any. 50-50 is a little too much, but like not even. I don't know. Maybe if they said, "Oh, we get 20%," maybe Sony would have said, "Okay," but they didn't even come back with a freaking. They didn't come back and say like, "Oh, you only get 20%. You only get 10%." No, they said, "No, you stay 5%. Suck our Sony dicks." All right, it's just, I think it's ridiculous on both parts, but I think Sony is more to blame here, and that's from what I gathered from these couple of articles. I don't know, but it just sucks that now we're not going to see the continuation of Tom Holland as Spider-Man in the MCU. At least we'll probably see the continuation of him. He'll fight Venom in the next one. It'll suck, but it could be good. You know what? I believe in Sony to make quality movies sometimes, so maybe the next one will be good. I know the last two they worked on those, but they still had Marvel there. You know, maybe Marvel came in to say, hey, this scene's stupid as hell, just like the scene in Amazing Spider-Man 2 where Electro turns an Electro and the gap in his teeth get fixed. You know, if Marvel was there back then, they would have said, are you trying to make a fucking comedy? Like, it's supposed to be Spider-Man, okay? So it has comedy in it, but you don't need to have your main villain be this fucking dumb and goofy and nerdy and then have his gap in his teeth fix because he turned into an electric man. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're fighting Spider-Man in an electrical plant thing, and when Electro keeps hitting all the things, it starts playing the, what was it, like Itsy Bitsy Spider? Anybody remember that? What are you doing? What? I don't know. Anyway, it's just knock knock. Let Dev